Chapter 3. The Man with the Blue Necktie. Shut the fuck up! Finn screams loudly while twisting Denny's hand, who was trying to wake him up. Classes were over and apparently nobody bothered the boy. Not even the teacher who most likely knew about his misadventures in the night. When he comes to his senses, he sees Danny trying to break free from his excessively violent grab, about to bite Finn's hand like a cornered animal, and so he lets his friend go in shame. "I am so sorry, Danny." His friend pulls back and rubs his almost purple wrist while averting eye contact. "It's okay," he answered. "You were having a nightmare?" The kid's tone was indecisive, both a statement and a question. "Yes, Danny, I was having a nightmare." "Well, you were moaning and calling Miss Laura." "You mean screaming, right?" Yeah, sure." The kid seemed extremely uncomfortable. "Was I moaning or screaming?" Danny didn't answer. "Ah, fuck." Back in the car, Bill was taking a look at some pictures while waiting for his brother, holding a particularly gruesome one in one hand and half an eaten sandwich in the other. He takes a long look at the sandwich, full of ham and ketchup, and gently puts it in the back seat, finding a new respect for his brother. Or was it pity? Maybe both. It was definitely pity. Bill didn't have his brother's keen mind, and frankly, he had a different kind of resilience. While Finn did indeed puke and pissed himself during the harsh parts of the night, nothing there will actually stop him from pursuing this case. Not even if he had to puke and pissed himself again and again. Finn had the fortitude to move forward. Bill, on the other hand, was the athletic side of the duo. He could run for hours. He knew how to drive while Finn didn't, how to fight. He knew his way with machines. Needless to say, he could have clicked the two hinges at the sides of the printer to open it, without the need of a screwdriver or a pocket knife. But he also knew how to talk and how to make people comfortable. This investigative work wasn't necessarily difficult per se, but the gruesome pictures were indeed a hassle to get through. At that time, Finn and Danny finally approached to the car. The boy had a look on his face that he always had whenever he knew exactly where to go and how to proceed. But he tries to open the door and it was locked. So he tries again, and again, the door kept being locked. "Is the door broken or something?" asks Finn, frustrated, even a little mad at his brother. Bill just points from the driver's seat at the lock. The window was even down. This makes Finn try again, and the door still was locked. "Hey, detective, the lock is on. Unlock the door, Jesus Christ." It was strange how the boy was so smart in some regards, and so obtuse in others. Like his brain had some particular priorities to meet, and anything else, such as trying the lock if the door didn't open, was secondary. Regardless, the boy and his friend finally entered the car, Do you have them? Asks Finn, and his brother promptly answers. Yep. Oh, and there were a lot of pictures. It cost me some money in the library. Psst. That's because you asked for them in the library, instead of sneaking into the teacher's lounge and get them for free. You had a lot to learn, Robin. Robin? Bill seemed agitated at the comparison. Ah, man. I thought I was more like Watson. Danny quickly pokes his head from the back seat and tries to intervene. You know, there is nothing wrong with Robin. Later on he turns into... Yeah, I don't care who he turns into. Bill takes a second to recover from the blow and continues. Sorry, Danny. It's just... those pictures were gross. There's nothing in there. Nothing, huh? Yeah, well, besides the gross ones. Just trees and bushes. The Tylers talking to Ronson. People from the town. Besides that, I didn't see anything interesting. Ah, brother. You truly have much to learn. Finn, expecting results, was disappointed at his brother. Not caring about the distress the photos were obviously causing, but resigned at the thought that it was his own fault for giving such a task to what he considered the limited mind of his brother. The boy just takes an absurdly pronounced and elongated sigh before he continued. Well, speaking of the Tylers, we're going to the park ranger's hut. I'm going to interview the couple. Those two have always been extremely sketchy to me. Sketchy? Bro, Mary is alive thanks to them. Yes, bro, but don't you think it's absurdly coincidental that they were strolling around in the forest with shotguns and just happened to come across Mary being attacked by an animal? At this point, Bill seemed a bit disturbed by whatever chaotic conspiracy his brother had in mind, worried that it could spiral out of control. Finn, they are park rangers. They were doing their job. Finn wasn't having it. He was normally patient, at least with his brother, but not today. William, I don't care about what you think. I'm doing my job. I'm going to the forest to talk to the Tylers, and I'll go alone if I must. Ah, Bill. You really are your mother's baby boy. So innocent. So... Shut up, Dad! Screams Finn loudly. Everyone in the car remained quiet for a couple of seconds. They all hear it. Finn's words, both to Bill and to his father. A moment passed, and Danny decides to break the awkward silence by picking a photo that was lying in the floor and asking, "Who's this guy?" The photo was of the Tylers, the married couple in charge of the park rangers of the part of the forest closest to town. They were talking to a strange-looking man, to say the least. Native American looking, but only his complexion, for it was dressed with the finest white suit you only see in the movies, and even the umbrella he was holding looked expensive. He had his long black hair well styled to the back, and wearing white leather gloves as an extra separation from the dirt of his surroundings, and also wearing the most bright blue necktie decorated with even brighter and bluer butterflies. a color that seemed to shine with properties the paper itself shouldn't have. This was something interesting. The three of them looked at the pictures in awe, but after a moment, Finn grabs another one and another one. "What the hell is going on?" asks the boy. And when the other two look, they gasp. Not only for those, but also because almost all pictures laying around seem to have these strange men as part of the scenery. Not like if Finn himself decided to spy on the man and just forgot, but like if the man was almost walking around with the boy, like a partner, even helping out, pointing places he wanted pictures taken. In some of them he seemed to be even talking to him. "Bill, you didn't see this guy in the pictures earlier, right?" I swear I didn't. Wait, you took the pictures?" Bill was in shock. Actually, all of them were. "Yes, I took them." Suddenly, a headache started to grow in the trio, so fast that they couldn't do much more than cover their heads with their hands, like protecting themselves from a baseball. A ringing started to occur, growing loud enough that all other sound was silenced. And when the headache was about to burst their heads open, an immeasurable amount of bright blue butterflies faded in and then out of view inside the car. The three of them looked at each other, and they all had nosebleeds. But the headache was gone, and so the men in the pictures. Gross. Must be the weather, said Bill while cleaning himself, and the two other boys agreed almost in unison. "Well, to the Tylers." Chapter 4. Those Dark Claws of Death. The empty and eternal loneliness surrounds Mary, with only the warmth of her blood covering her body, rushing through her wounds like an unending waterfall that bathes her in the most crimson veil. In the front, the moon, orange and yellow, so bright, so pure, and to her back, the monster, with that smile of mortal spears, those dark claws of death, reaching, extending, contorting to get her, with roars, growls, and cries of the most violent agony. Run, Mary. The moon looks so pretty. My moon. My big and pretty moon. The moon is mine. I am the moon. And I am its master. I am your master, Mary. No, Mary, do not listen. The moon belongs to no one and all. Mary convulses violently while lights and beepings break through the previously calm hospital's floor. The doctors and nurses run, and when they enter the room they see Mary convulsing so frenetically that she is launched to the ground, breaking her nose with a loud crack and getting her IV removed by force, squirting blood from her face and her arms and all the bite wounds that popped back open from the impact. The time to run is over. Now it's time to wake up. Mary tries to scream, but when she opens her mouth, she feels the crawl of a silky snake forcing its way through her throat, sneaking deeper than her guts, all the way to her soul and pulling her to the stars. But the wolf bites her ankle, breaking muscle and bone, forcing her to stay down in the most painful grab. The girl opens her eyes, but the true nightmare has only begun. You're mine, Mary. I am your master.